Welcome to the Over 40 Alpha Podcast with your host, Funk Roberts.
We are live, and welcome to the Over 40 Alpha Podcast. This is episode number 166, and I'm your host, Funk Roberts, former professional athlete turned master metabolic trainer, certified hormone and testosterone expert, and health and fitness guru specifically for men in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond. I'm your host, and this podcast is for you, specifically for the man over 40, where we talk about how to naturally increase your testosterone. We talk about mindset strategies. We talk about nutrition, recovery, sleep, supplementation, chronic health issues, and how to overcome them. And we also talk about workouts and training. And today we are going to continue down the 10 Commandments series with the 10 Commandments of exercises for men over 40, 50, 60, 70, and beyond. See how I didn't stop right at men over 40? I continued 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond. And today we're going to talk about my top 10 exercises. The 10 exercises that every man should have in their overall workout and fitness program. Like if you don't have these exercises in your overall fitness, your overall workout program that you're doing, then you got to join the Over 40 Alpha Brotherhood, because I'm going to make sure that these exercises are in there for you. $1, over40alpha.com. Go there right now. It's $1 for 30 days. You're going to get these exercises. You're going to get more, of course, but you got to stop trying to do things on your own. And you also have to stop following, other programs or other fitness experts, gurus, influencers that don't understand that the physiological changes and the changes that us men in our 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s and beyond go through, the goals that we have, the things that we need to be focusing more on, and not on just, this is all the exercises, workouts, and this will work for everybody. No, they don't work for us. We need something more specific, something more tailored to our struggles, our goals, our physiological changes. So over40alpha.com, that's what it is. We've been doing this for men over 40 for over 7 years now, and thousands of men still to this day, still in the program, still going through the phases are there. But so head over to over40alpha.com and just start $1 for 30 days. I will prove to you that I'll help you lose 520 pounds, because the proof is in the pudding. That being said, I wanted to celebrate my birthday, because I believe that this episode is going to be coming out on April 12th, which is my 56th birthday. I will be 56 years old on April 12th, 2025. And I wanted to celebrate it by going through my top 10 exercises for every man over 40. So let's dive in. Let me just dive in. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each of my exercises. I'm going to talk about, why I feel that this should be a staple. And then we'll go through them, and that's it. Like that's what I'm giving you guys. These are the exercises I think every man should have. So let's start off with number one. Now, these aren't in any order. I'm just giving you the 10 commandments, the ones you need. So number one for me is going to be goblet squat, right? A goblet squat or goblet squat variations, because goblet squats, to me, I love. Now, if you don't know what the goblet squat is, it is a squat variation where you're holding either a dumbbell or a kettlebell, or, in front of you up by your chest, nice and close. And what this is doing is it's forcing you to use your glutes, your quads, your adductors, your core, all in one movement. You see, we want to be able to use exercises that are going to recruit more muscles, right? And so holding a weight in front, right? What this does is it forces our body and really forces the core to brace, right? It forces that core to brace, because we got to keep that spine upright. So, and if you have back injuries, like I have back injuries. So if you have back injuries, this is great, because it's going to allow you to hit the quads. It's going to allow you to hit the glutes. It's going to allow you to hit those adductors, which we need to strengthen, because that's what's going to help us stabilize our hips and our knees. You know how our knees are always caving in. And it's also going to help us, this exercise also helps improve our mobility and our posture. So an exercise like this, where we hold the dumbbell, right? Right away, your core needs to brace so that you're not falling forward while you're squatting down, right? Your glutes have to be strong. So you're building that glute strength, right? Your knees pointing out so that you're hitting those adductors. You're getting deep, right? So, when you first start this exercise, you may not be able to go deep, but this is going to help with that mobility, right? So it's a safer, joint-friendly powerhouse squat variation. And the great thing is it's scalable. We can use dumbbells. We can use kettlebells. We can change the tempo, change pulses. There's so many different ways we can use the goblet squat. But I think it's definitely, out of all the squats, the best for us guys as we get older. Because if you throw a barbell on your back and start doing back squats, man, it's just, here's the thing, like, our margin for error as we get older is a lot smaller. Now, I'm not saying that we can't, be in the best shape of our lives in our 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. Definitely can. I mean, I see it every single day in the brotherhood, but our margin for error is much smaller. We can't be doing the same things that we did before, right? There's no sense in us doing barbell back squats unless you're competing in some sport that needs that. Because here's the thing with goblet squats, you're going to have less compression on your spine and you're going to have more core engagement. Although I do know the back squat is one of those exercises that, when I used to use back squats many, 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 many years ago, I mean, I don't know, the last time I back squatted maybe would have been 25 years. What am I, 56? Maybe when I was early 40s, right? Because I was doing strength and conditioning for fighters. It's all about your core. If you don't have core strength, then the ability to put a lot of weight on your back is going to be compromised. But the point I'm trying to make is, like, we don't need to put big weight on our back in order to hit our quads and our glutes and adductors that squats do for us. So a goblet squat variation is a great way to build that lower body power, because again, depending on the tempo, depending on how you set up the actual exercise in regards to the type of variation that you do, it protects our lower back and it reinforces a functional movement pattern. Me and my functional training, the 6 fundamental movement patterns, you're going to see that come up quite a bit in these exercises. So my number one exercise, or the one exercise for sure, would be the goblet squat and the variations of goblet squat. That's one you need to have in your overall arsenal. My second one is going to be the incline dumbbell chest press. This is the move if you want to build. If you want to put mass on your chest, this is it. This is the one. It's upper chest. You're going to hit shoulders and triceps, of course, but it's dumbbell chest press, but on a slight incline. Okay. It's very important that when you do the incline dumbbell chest press, you're not inclining the bench so much that now it's just a shoulder press, right? Because that's what I see. Like, and that's the other thing that frustrates me a lot when I go to the gym. Some gyms, you go to the gym and there's going to be a bench, and then what frustrates me the most is the bench only has like maybe 2 or 3 settings when it comes to the incline. So the one, there's the vertical, and then there's like one that's like, I don't know, 70%. And then there's another one that's like 50%, I guess, right? And so there's nothing lower than that, because truly, in order to get the best range of motion for your chest, for me, is going to be like 30%, maybe even 25% incline. This is not a big incline, because then your shoulders come into play more. We don't want our shoulders to be doing most of the work. We want the upper chest. We want to build mass in our upper chest. If you want to build or even maintain that upper chest, and then using dumbbells gives you a beautiful range of motion. Like that incline gives you more of a range of motion. And a lot of men, as we get older in our 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, we lose that upper chest volume, right? We lose shoulder mobility. I don't have a lot of great shoulder mobility. I'm still working on it. But dumbbells will give us that natural range of motion, right? Which will give us a little bit less strain on our rotator cuffs, because a lot of times, if we haven't dealt with any shoulder issues, it's a rotator cuff that comes in. But the incline, that incline position, when you're coming all the way down, that gives you that range of motion that allows you to recruit more pec muscles, right? And so although it's another nice joint friendly exercise. It promotes that shoulder health, right? Because it all depends on the amount of weight that you use. But when it comes to building like chest mass, it's dumbbell training that's going to give you the mass, not the barbell. Like when people sit down and go, they do chest press. First and foremost, a barbell chest press is a technical movement. Most guys don't do it properly. It's a very technical movement. And so if someone's going to teach you how to do it, it's great, but that's going to give you strength, not mass. The mass comes from dumbbells. The strength definitely will come from barbell press, but you need to know how to do it properly so you're not compromising your shoulder or putting your shoulders at risk. Right. And so if you're a 40, 50, 60-year-old man who hasn't gone to the gym in years, and you're going to go under a barbell and try to do barbell presses, and you haven't done them in years, that's just a set up to get wet up, as I say. It's set up for failure, because you don't know how to, you won't remember. Believe me. I deal with many men over the years who are coming back into training, and they don't even, let alone remember what to do. That's another struggle that a lot of guys have. It's like they forget, they get to the gym, they get excited, and then you're like, oh God, I don't actually remember what really to do. Right. So anyway, I love incline dumbbell chest press. It's one of the key, or any dumbbell chest press is great. Obviously if you don't have access to a bench, then floor chest press is great, right? Because the floor again will kind of protect. Now you're going to be limited in your range of motion, but you could still put on some mass by adding more weight to the dumbbell press once you get that technique. But yeah, man, incline dumbbell chest press, if you don't have that in your arsenal, you get that in your arsenal. That should be the number one chest exercise that you should be doing when it comes to building that chest. Okay. Number 2, we're going to go with burpees. And this is the one that I like. This is a non-negotiable for me. Okay. For most fitness guys and most fitness influencers out there, and I guess fitness coaches, if they want to, whatever they are, they always shy away from burpees. Like they're always like, oh, burpees is a waste of time. You should do this instead. But that's just because they can't do burpees. Right. But there's a specific style of burpees. I'm going to premise this by the specific style, but let me just talk about why this to me is the ultimate total body exercise. In fact, so ultimate that in our brotherhood program, whenever someone has a birthday, they have to do their birthday burpees. These are guys in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s who are doing birthday burpees. You know what that means? That means they put a video, they take the phone, they put the phone up against wherever it is, they press record, they go and they do the burpee amount of burpees that is their age. So for me today, I will be doing 56 burpees, right? We have guys doing 60 burpees, 61 burpees, 62 burpees, 70 burpees, 75 burpees. Why? Because we do burpees. It's a non-negotiable because we lose the ability to get off the ground quickly. And when you lose the ability to get off the ground quickly, you lose your independence. Like, I mean, hey man, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Right. The other thing that we lose specifically, again, now I'm talking about, if you're listening to this, I'm talking about the guys who are 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, who haven't been training. I'm not talking about guys who've been training, but we lose that fast twitch muscle fiber, right? Like the one that gives us explosion, the one that helps with coordination. We lose coordination. We lose fast twitch muscle fibers. We lose our overall athleticism. Burpees is a beautiful exercise to allow us to build cardio, to start building back that fast twitch muscle fibers, like, because we're going to be getting up and off the ground fast. I'm not talking about the burpees where you're just literally flopping on the ground and getting back up. Those are CrossFit style burpees, but they do that for a reason. I'm talking about back fast, up fast. I'm talking about if you're going all the way down, you're exploding all the way up, right? This is going to teach our body not only to get up and down and up off the ground as fast as possible, explode off the ground, right? Using, I don't know, over 600 muscles, right? Because it's a total body exercise. Like so many muscles and movements are part of this exercise, right? But also teaches our body how to absorb the force safely. Like if you can get down and up off the ground safely, that does transfer into different things that happen throughout the day. Or if you got a dog and the dog starts pulling you, you're not going to when you fall on the ground, you're not going to fall all floppy because you haven't been, you don't know how to control the body. This is going to give you coordination, right? So explosiveness, conditioning. I mean, you want to lose fat, you want to improve your cardio, burpees. Do burpees. I mean, I gotta find that video where I'm like saying, if you want to lose fat, do burpees. If you want to build muscle, do burpees. If you want to build cardio, do burpees. But yeah, man, like a lot of us guys, a lot of men in their 40s, 50s, 60s, they start losing all of these things, the athleticism, the independence. And I'm telling you right now, the people, I see this all the time. Now, no, I have my own opinion. I see this all the time when I see like when I listen to these fitness influencers or coaches or guys who like were in their 30s and training, and then they all of a sudden moved to 40-year-olds, and now they're training men over 40 like online, but then they still keep the same old like thought process when they were in their 30s because they don't understand what's going on with men over 40. Like they haven't done the deep dive. I've done the deep dive because I've been doing this for 7-8 years. So right, where you got new people coming in, and they shun away from burpees because they can't do burpees very well. It's hard. It's difficult because it's your total body. So like, you don't need to do burpees. Do this instead. Walk instead. No, man, you got to be able to do burpees. I want to be doing burpees at 99 years old. Right? I want to be, this is mobility, coordination, stamina. This is like real men, like man shit, man. Like you want that functional, agile movement. As you want strength, you want muscle, you want speed, you want agility, you want to be able to do burpees. Because burpees aren't the thing that ages you. It's avoiding them. That's what ages you. That's what speeds up your aging process. In my eyes. That's why we have birthday burpees, man. And that's why these guys are so like athletic. Even if they're not athletic, they didn't come in as athletes, but because burpees is one of the exercises that are incorporated, not in every workout, but in our training. And it's not something that we shy away from. It's something that we have to embrace. Come on, man. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? You don't want to shy away from things that are difficult. You want to embrace that and you want to conquer it. And that's what we're doing. So burpees are in. That's number 3. Right. And for me, again, there are different types of burpees. Obviously, if you're just new, literally there's different variations. But the two that I love the most is just not even putting your chest to the ground. It's just back fast, up fast, back fast, up fast. That speed of getting back into that push-up position and right up, explode right up. And the speed. And then the one right down to the ground, but you're exploding up. You can almost hear there's sometimes when I do burpees, you can hear me going every time I get to the bottom because I'm just getting all the way down and then get back up. Anyways, burpees number 3. Number 4 exercise is going to be the single leg deadlift and all the variations that come with single leg deadlift. We hit our glutes, we hit our hamstrings, we hit our core, we hit balance, and we also hit the hip hinge, which is a fundamental movement pattern. This is so critical because right off the bat, unilateral exercises are key for us guys in our 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, because when we do unilateral exercise, which is just one, like when you're just training one side of the body, that's unilateral. This helps us to fix a lot of imbalances. It helps us improve our balance, which will help us prevent our falls. It helps us to correct, one side stronger than the other. So it's nice to be able to train unilaterally, but the single leg deadlift allows us to do that because we're only focusing on one side of the body, or depending again on the variation. But we need this because not only for the hinge, but we want to be able to balance and stabilize our muscles, right, as we're moving, because this engages stabilizing muscles because of the type of movement this is. It's not just the big muscles, the main muscles that we're using, but a lot of stabilizing muscles are being used because we've got to balance, right? This is also a beautiful exercise for glute and hamstring development because, again, we're only focusing on one side of the body, right? We have that hip hinge movement because that's what a single leg deadlift. That's literally like you take I mean, there's so many variations, but even on just the body weight side, it's you're standing and then one leg, you kind of kick back one leg or slowly lift one leg back while you hinge forward, right? So you're hinging forward, and so your body's going to come to almost like almost parallel the leg and your body. Almost, doesn't have to be, but now you have that balance, right? And it's that single leg. So the glutes, the hamstrings, the quads, your core, your balance, all of these stabilizing muscles need to keep you there. So it teaches the hip hinge mechanics while you protect that lower back. Again, I've got really bad lower back issues, but I have to build my glutes. I have to build my hamstrings. I have to be able to continue with these fundamental movement patterns that, again, we lose as we age. Fundamental movement patterns being hinge, squat, lunge, push, pull, and anti-rotation and rotation, or core. So the single leg deadlift needs to be one of the 10 exercises that you incorporate, because it's going to give you that balance and the proprioception as well. It's going to strengthen your posterior chain, which is, everything in your back, like your glutes, your back. That's the posterior chain, right? Hamstrings. So that's the posterior, behind you. And the more you build this up, you're going to see that the risk of injuries start to diminish, because, again, when we do exercises like the single leg deadlift, we're building all of these stabilizing muscles. We're building our balance, right? Our core strength. And because of this type of movement, it's a slower movement. So the slower the movement, again, we're recruiting more muscles that'll help with strengthening strengthen muscles around the knee, right? Because, again, that's one. I mean, you're balancing on one leg, right? Your coordination. There's so much, and because the single leg deadlift, there's so many variations that you can start with a basic no weight. Right? Just getting that movement and getting that balance, and then you slowly add load, right? And you slowly add different variations where it's not just, if you add the load, you're not just like using right side, the right leg goes up, or right side, the right leg stays, and you're holding a dumbbell, but you can do cross body, right? You can do cross body. So a little bit more rotation in the single leg deadlifts. Like, there's so many different variations. Your back foot doesn't even need to leave the ground at first. You can just keep that back foot back a little bit, like a kickstand. It is one of those, again, and it's fundamental in regards to the movement, right? And it hits those glutes. Men, we don't train our glutes the way we need to. We don't train our glutes, and it's the second biggest muscle in our body next to the quads. The glutes have so much muscle, and it's responsible for so much, that they're turned off most of the time because we're sitting most of the time, right? So we're not engaging and activating our glutes. So glute strength goes to the wayside. Anyways, for sure, it's single leg deadlift. For sure, that's number 4. And now moving on to number 5. The number 5 exercise that you need to have in your overall training arsenal is the kettlebell swing. You need to learn the kettlebell swing. Learn it and apply it, because the kettlebell swing is going to give you hip power. The kettlebell swing is going to give you posterior chain power. The kettlebell swing is going to give you explosiveness. The kettlebell swing is going to give you cardio. The kettlebell swing is pure testosterone fuel, baby. Pure testosterone fuel. You get a heavy kettlebell, 32 kilos, whatever, 48 kilos, even 28 kilos, 24 kilos, double, it's two arm kettlebell swing for power and explosiveness. This is going to train that hip explosiveness. This is gonna train your power. This is gonna train cardio. So you're gonna get cardio out of this. You're gonna get fat loss out of this. You're gonna get hip hinge. Like, again, you're seeing a lot of these exercises that I'm talking about have that hip hinge as opposed to bending over, right? We need to properly hinge at the hips just for everyday things that we do, so that we don't get those back injuries. Oh, I've pulled my back because I bent over to pick something up. Like, we shouldn't be pulling our back, bending over, picking things up, or picking our kids up or grandkids up or what have you, right? But when you know how to hinge properly, right? Whether it's through the exercise, well, it's going to be through exercises. It's going to be through exercising where you learn how to hinge. You learn what muscles that you need to brace as you're hinging. Then it's gonna transfer over beautifully into your everyday life. But the kettlebell swing, because it's a power exercise, because it's a lower body exercise, most people, and this is the reason why I said you need to learn the technique behind doing the kettlebell swing, is because most people think it's upper body, right? So they see and they're using their shoulders to try to raise the kettlebell, but it's all from the lower body, the hip, the posterior chain, the explosiveness, the glutes. You're hitting your glutes. You're hitting that hip power. You're squeezing your quads at the top of the movement. You're embracing your core, right? Because it's a power exercise. Now, there's different swing variations. I'm talking about the hard style swing, the power swing. And there's, again, different variations as well in regards to single arm swing, right? But, and listen, if you want cardio and conditioning, pick up a heavy kettlebell, not pick up, hike a heavy kettlebell, not pick up. You want to hike it into that swing and just do 10 swings, power swings, explosive kettlebell swings. Plus they're joint friendly. It's not heavy. It's not heavy on the joints, right? And so you start by learning the technique, and then slowly you increase the weight of the kettlebell to get more power, to build more power, to invoke more cardio, because it's going to be harder on your cardiovascular system as you go heavier with the kettlebell, because you're now really, really needing to recruit even more power behind the movement. And man, if you want to torch fat, this is it. Like, why do you think you probably don't even know this, but I have a program, which is a 28-day kettlebell swing burpee program. I literally took two of the best overall exercises that are, I wouldn't say joint friendly, because I guess burpees aren't, but for cardio, for explosiveness, for fat loss, like you want to lose fat, do this kettlebell burpee program. Short, 10, 15 minutes. 15 minutes is probably the longest, but they're really short, almost like finishers. You just use them as finishers. I put both of those in. So every exercise has a swing and burpees in it, and it's different variations. But I'm telling you, man, you want to boost your metabolism. You want to build power, strengthen your posterior chain. Again, remember, strengthen the posterior chain. And it's great for fat loss, great for conditioning. It's the kettlebell swing. Now, you have to learn it. You have to learn it properly. The technique is very, very important. It's not something you just pick up. You do have to, this is a technical movement, but it's one of those movements that, like, it is worth the time and effort to learn how to do a kettlebell swing properly, because you'll be able to implement that into all of your training moving forward into your 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond. And if there's one piece of equipment that I would take to an island, if I was stranded on an island, I had to choose one piece of equipment, it's going to be the kettlebell. It's definitely going to be the kettlebell. Resistance band, very close second. It's going to be a kettlebell. All right, let's move on to number 6, which for me are parallel bar dips or Liebert dips. I got my Lieberts downstairs. Why the dips? Well, I mean, dude, this is triceps, chest, shoulder stability, but triceps, chest. If you want big arms, like, hey, if you want to look alpha, there's 3 things you get with the alpha look. 4 things you get. You want chest, you want nice shoulders rolled, like big boulder shoulders, but your shoulders aren't rolled forward, they're back. You want arms, and you want abs. That's it. Those are the 4. You want arms? It's not biceps, although biceps are going to be part of this. It's the dips. It's the triceps. It's the horseshoe. And I mean, parallel bars. I mean, the parallel bar dips, body weight dips, is like old school talking. We're talking like, that's all people had at any point in order to build arms. They didn't have bicep. They didn't have dumbbells. But they had the ability to do dips. And I'm talking about parallel bar dips, because here's the thing. Triceps are often undertrained, right? Because we always push to the biceps. If we think arms, we think biceps, biceps, biceps. Meanwhile, 2/3 of your arm is your triceps. So we don't really focus on building the triceps. But if you want to build strength as well through the shoulder girdle, then parallel dips are really good, because it's gonna help you build that shoulder stability, and it's gonna help you build the mass that you want for your arms. If you want mass on your arms, it's the triceps, not the biceps. Biceps is the look, the show. The triceps is the go. If we're doing the show and go, the show, yeah, sure, you want those biceps, because of the peak, but it's the go. Like, hey, what really gives you that alpha look is going to be your triceps. The parallel dips are perfect. You can do them pretty much, well, not anywhere, but you want to be, this has got to be something that you incorporate. Now, how do you incorporate this? Well, first you get Liebert equalizers, because I love the Liebert equalizers. I know Mark Liebert. I'm not an affiliate of Liebert equalizers. I got my own here. It was one of the key pieces of equipment that I used when I was training all my fighters, because not everyone has parallel dips in their gym, right? Not everyone has parallel dip bars at home. But if you pick this up, you will all of a sudden have parallel dip bars at home. There's the two kind of bars that you see people using. But it's great because when you have this, you can just incorporate it as like a skill type of exercise, right? There's exercises that you can do where you're building the skill, so it doesn't have to be part of an actual workout. It could be just something you do to begin after your warm up. Then you may do these first. You may do these on a day where you just want to practice your parallel dips, right? But this is going to increase that pushing strength. This is going to build your triceps and a strong shoulder. And it's body weight based, so you don't need you do need the equipment of the parallel bars, but it's body weight based, and then of course the better you get at them, you can add weight, dumbbells, etc. You can add them, if you have a belt. But the point I'm trying to make is, for tricep mass, chest, because again, this also hits your chest. All you have to do is lean forward slightly, and now you've got dip variation that's going to be that's going to recruit more of your pecs. Remember, we're losing our pecs as we get older. And then it's just that shoulder stability. And again, it's scalable. Like, if you can't go, yes, you want to be able to go deep, because this the other thing about the dips is it allows you to go deep, like the range of motion, depending on how mobile your shoulders are and how healthy they are. You can go really deep, right? Really deep, and then explode back up to the top of the movement. But if you can't even get there, you can just start with slight dips to get the strength, right? To start recruiting the muscles that are going to be part of the movement, right? And then the more you do it, the better you're going to get, the stronger you're going to get. So I love dips. It should be part of your overall training. This may not be in an actual exercise, workout, depending on the type of workouts you do, or maybe one of the pieces of the workout. If you have 3 different parts of your workout, maybe a strength part, then you have, a muscle building part, and then you have a finisher that's more conditioning based, then this is going to be in the strength part, because you are recruiting a lot of upper body muscles. So dips for sure, but it's parallel bar dips, not the bench dips where you have your hands behind you. I don't like those. They're not really great for your shoulders. It's the regular parallel bar dips. Okay, number 7. We're going to go to the other side of the arm. We're going to go to the antagonistic muscle from the tricep is the bicep. Seated dumbbell curls. Seated incline dumbbell curls. I'm adding the incline here because of the stretch that you get. And the seated incline dumbbell curl is a humbling exercise. And the reason why I like this exercise, and any seated dumbbell exercise, but this one specifically, is because you're hitting the biceps, that emphasis, the stretch part under the load, right? So seated curls will give you that full stretch on the incline because you're sitting back. So a lot of times when men do curls, they just do the regular, dumbbell curls or barbell curls. And yeah, those are good and those are great and whatever, but we don't hit the long head as much as we can. We don't get that range of motion because in essence, the range of motion for a bicep curl is huge. Like the range from the bottom part, which is generally behind our body, all the way to the top part, which is like literally with our elbows, depending on how much shoulder stability, your elbows almost pointing up. That's a full range of motion for a bicep curl. Generally, we're not getting that full range of motion. We're just doing bicep curls. But when you can do seated bicep curls, you're getting that bottom range, right? Like the range that we don't generally hit because we're just starting with the bicep, right by our side. We don't, it's difficult to do. Well, it's not difficult, but you still have to know how to do it. But now when you're seated and it's on an incline, your arms are behind you, right? Because when you have the dumbbells are if you look sitting in an incline, the dumbbells are behind you, and now it forces you to curl them in a bigger range of motion, but you also still have that load on the biceps during the stretch under that stretched lower part. So what this is going to do is it's going to recruit more muscle fascia. It's going to improve the range of motion that you have in your arm and in your biceps. And what that's also going to do is going to help you build that peak, right? That show muscle. It's great for building arm development. Again, it is a humbling exercise because you can't do heavy weight when you do it with the right technique, which is great because, we are already going to be putting our body into not a compromising position, but an uncomfortable position, a position that we're not used to being in. So we can start very light. I mean, everything that we do and everything that I talk about, we have to master the movement, right? It's all about mastering the movement. So everything we do, we start light, master the movement, master the technique, and then we add more load. Because what this is going to do with this bicep exercise is it's going to train our full range of motion. I'm going to tell you, your bicep muscle growth is going to come much faster. And it's a nice joint friendly exercise, but it gives us a bicep hypertrophy, which most guys want, right? You want that bicep. Listen, it's going to be the tricep that gives you the go, baby, the mass. But the bicep, I understand. That's like the one that you show. It's a show. It's a one. But I'll tell you right now, between the bicep and the tricep exercise, the tricep, what's going to burst your sleeve is going to be the mass of your tricep. Is going to burst the sleeve. The bicep is going to give you that look. Right? So if you have big triceps, horseshoe triceps, that's what's going to burst that sleeve. If you have no tricep and biceps, what's going to happen? The sleeve, the short, like when you're wearing a short sleeve t-shirt, it's always going to fall down because there's no girth in the triceps to keep the sleeve up. Sometimes when you're wearing a tight shirt with a sleeve, right? Tight short sleeve shirt. And it's like this freaking sleeve doesn't move. All you can see is like the lower part of the tricep and the bicep. And you're like, oh man, that guy's got big arms, right? But you also know that sometimes when you want that at the very beginning, it's great. But throughout the day, the sleeve starts to fall down because you don't got the girth, the mass of the triceps. So get those triceps, baby, so that those sleeves stay up. The arms bursting out of your sleeves. Anyways, I love it. I love the full range of motion. I love the fact that you're gonna, you recruit much more muscle. I mean, biceps are a very small muscle to begin with, but imagine being able to load under the stretch. That's gonna recruit more muscles. And specifically the long head of the biceps, which is going to give you that beautiful peak. So that's one for sure that you want as part of your muscle, as part of your program, as part of your workouts. The incline, slight incline. So incline. Oh, actually, the other thing too is with the incline, you can change it up. You can change up. You can go down to 30. You can go to 50. There's so many different. So again, that the lower you are, the tougher it's going to be. Obviously, the lower you are, the harder it's going to be. But you can get that full range of motion by curling the barbell, the dumbbells up from the side. Okay, what's number 8? Number 8 is going to be barbell rows. Okay, barbell rows. Now, if you don't have barbells, of course, dumbbells, but I'm telling you, invest in a barbell just for this exercise. Because if you want back density, we want that posterior chain, we want grip strength. Man, barbell rows, if you just think about this, think about Dorian Yates. Okay. Remember back in the day, bodybuilding, if you followed bodybuilding, Dorian Yates was a beast. Okay. And Dorian Yates had a massive back. And Dorian Yates' favorite exercise was one of his favorite exercises, specific for the back, was the barbell row. In fact, he had the Yates row. I remember watching a video of watching a video of Dorian Yates doing rows, barbell rows, like with 4 plates aside. But he called them as Yates row, overhead grip. But the barbell row, I love it because again, you get that, you're pulling up to your what do you call it? Your navel, right? You're going to get that thick, strong back, right? Like if you want that posture, if you want that the pull, functional strength, right? This is the one, because it also, what this is going to do is it's going to train that body in that hip hinge, because you're hinging down, right? So again, we got the hip hinge, and now you have to be stable in that hip hinge. So your glutes have to be turned on. Your core has to be tight. You have that grip strength. So there's so much happening just with the setup, right? So now there's a lot of muscles that need to be recruited just to give you that setup. And now then what you're doing is you're just focusing on the back and the row and the pull with your grip, and you're pulling using the back muscles to really and truly build up that back, that strong back, right? We want to fight our spine degeneration, right? As we get older, our spine starts to degenerate, right? We want to fight that, right? We want to fight that. We want that back density. We want that back strength. We want the posterior strength. I love this. And grip strength too, right? Grip strength. Because we're holding on to the way we're holding on to the barbell, whether it's underhand grip or overhand grip, and depending on where we're gripping, right? That also gives you different variations of the barbell row. But this is a big one for massive back, man. Again, and core strength and glute strength as well, or posterior anyway, because again, just the setup alone, you start to engage a lot of muscles, right? Your quads have to be strong. Your core has to be braced. Your glutes have to be turned on. So you have that strong straight back, depending on how low you go. And then now you're pulling or rowing up to your navel to really incorporate the lats in the back. Oh man, the lower back too. Ooh. So you're gonna build obviously the full back. You're gonna build the upper back. Of course, you're gonna build that lower back. Not as much as you would if you're doing like a bench row, but still, you're gonna improve your posture. You're gonna improve your grip strength, your pulling strength, right? Being able to pull. So all of those things, right? Like I love the barbell row. Now I know not everyone has a barbell, so you can definitely do dumbbell rows, and I love dumbbell rows too. And there's so many different variations, but we're talking the 10 commandments of exercises for men over 40. I'm going barbell row for sure, for those reasons. Number 9 is going to be lunges. All variations of lunges: forward lunge, side lunge, reverse lunge, even step ups. Because we're hitting our glutes, we're hitting our quads, we're hitting our adductors, we're hitting core, we're hitting balance, right? We're hitting everything here. All the stabilizing muscles that happen, that again get incorporated when you're doing a lunge, whatever variation it is, right? You're going to strengthen the joints. It's going to improve your overall control, like just, I mean, it's one of the fundamental movement patterns is a lunge. We lunge all the time. Right. But again, there's so many different variations. I'm giving all the variations, right? Forward, that gives you that quad strength, reverse lunges for the glutes, side lunges for your hips and the adductor health, right? So that's why I like using all variations, because you're going to get that full symmetry. You're going to get the squats definitely are going to be key to giving you that strength and lower body strength. But the lunges are going to be great for the symmetry, but also just leg development. Overall leg development, right? So love the lunge. Like, I mean, it's got to be there. It's so funny that like we lunge, the movement pattern is something we do all the time. But when you ask someone to do a lunge, like a guy to do a lunge, man, like the balance, they lose their balance, they lose the coordination, the mobility's not there. And it's like, wow, this is just a lunge, but it is a difficult. It's when I say it's a difficult exercise, because so many stabilizing muscles and so many muscles are recruited for the lunge, right? It's a lot of muscles for this one movement pattern that, yes, at first it's going to be difficult, but that's why you want to master. And that's why this needs to be part of our overall top 10 exercises, because we need to be able to lunge forward. We need to be able to lunge back. We need to be able to lunge side to side. We need to be able to do jumping lunges and lunges under with load. We need to be all different, lunges that build our mobility. So side to side, step ups, all the variations of step ups. So yes, definitely. And here's the thing, like the step ups and those types of things are going to help. Like we hike a lot, right? And remember, as we get older, 60s, 70s, 80s, and we're retired and we want to travel, and we want to not just travel and be sitting in a bus, but travel and take advantage of different countries and the terrain and hiking. And like, that's all of these lunges and step ups. That's going to train our muscles and our body to be able to handle that stuff as we're getting older. So 100% it's going to be lunge. Improves our balance, improves our coordination, improves our mobility, but also quads, glutes, adductors, hips, hamstrings. It's a no-brainer. But with this one specifically, it's all variations need to be incorporated within your training. Okay, what's number 10? We're going to go number 10 is going to be the upper body alpha movement of all time. It's the pull-up. It's the body weight pull-up. It's the true test of upper body relative strength, right? It is a true test. You're going to build your lats. You're going to build your traps. You're going to build your delts. You're going to build your biceps. You're going to build your core. I remember doing a pull-up program I didn't do a pull-up program with him, but Chris Lopez, Kettlebell Chris Lopez, had a program, how to do go from 0 to 10 pull-ups, right? And part of the way he did it was, so generally speaking, when you think of pull-ups, I'm talking about strict pull-ups, like chin or chest. Like, if you can get your chin over, let's do chin over. That's a pull-up, full pull-up, right? And so I remember that the way he did his, because pull-ups also, you can incorporate your core, is with our feet forward, because that incorporates the core more. Great for fighters, because I think that's what we were doing, a pull-up for fighters. I believe that's what we were. It's so long ago. But the core piece, engaging that core as you're mastering the pull-up, right? Huge. Great for shoulder health, right? Like one of the things that people talk about, if you have bad shoulders or bad shoulder mobility, one of the things you can do is just hanging. So that, you start from the hanging position, and now we're pulling up using our upper body strength. So again, like, this is one of the things that you'll probably start just by doing one. But you're building your upper body. You're building your upper back, arms, shoulders, shoulder health, grip, of course, core. I mean, this is like the movement that all men should be able to do. At least one, but I know there's probably like 10. 10 would probably be but you got to work up to that. This is like the dips for me. Like these two, I remember, shout out to Ed Richardson, because Ed Richardson and I, when we were in the 1990s, Ed Richardson and I used to go to the gym together. And, and every single time we went to the gym, before we started our main workout, we would do pull-ups and dips. That's how we warmed up, with pull-ups and dips, to the point where we could do like freaking a gajillion pull-ups and like 70, 80 dips. Like, it was insane. But the strength, like Ed Richardson's strength was insane. Like, right? But he wasn't like a big, massive guy. He was ripped. He was lean. He was strong. He had like muscular, you know what I mean? Oh man, like, it was just like, and we would just start doing all these different variations of pull-ups. But I like, that was like such a fun moment back in the day, because him and I were like one of those, him specifically, but we were like one of those guys, like, we didn't want to be an empty house. Like, an empty house is somebody who's like, empty houses are those big guys who go to the gym but have no strength. Like, they're just big, but they couldn't do 10 pull-ups. They can't do, you know, like people would see us at the gym, and we weren't big guys, right? But we could lift a lot, like dumbbell pressing 100, like, because of just that strength, that like that relative strength that you build, and you don't want to lose that as you get older. So pull-ups is something that you want to master. You want an upper body mastery is pull-ups. And again, we're all gonna, you start off weak. If you got shoulder issues, you're gonna start off weak. Use bands, but here's the thing about the bands. I'm gonna end off with this. The bands, a lot of times people use the bands wrong. The bands, they think they're using the bands to help them up, and the bands are being used for the negative part of the pull-up, not allowing you to do pull-ups. It's the negative coming down. So you pull yourself up with the band, get there, and then you're coming down slowly with the assistance of the band, so you don't fall, to give you, so you can start building the strength and the muscles that are going to be needed to pull yourself up, but you're building it down during the negative. That's how you quickly improve your pull-up, using bands. But again, building your upper body, of course. And then also, if you're an athlete, here's one last thing as an athlete, like if you play golf or hockey or whatever, a lot of times because of our body, like the right side of your body, sometimes will affect the power and strength you have on the left side of your body, and vice versa. So like, for instance, guys who like have the powerful slap shots or really powerful swings usually have big lats. But anyways, I digress. So those are the top 10. Now I'm going to add one more in here. I'm going to add a bonus. Okay, I'm going to add a bonus. So yes, it is the 10 commandments of exercise, and I will go over them one more time, but the bonus is going to be an anti-rotation and rotation movement, a core movement. Okay, the core. So building a strong core with anti-rotation. So the exercises that force you to resist rotation, and also rotational movements. So anti-rotation would be like the Palloff press, or like holding the band out and just resisting the band pulling you towards the anchor of where you're anchoring it. That's going to give you that anti-rotation, right? So that stability. But then you still also need rotation for that power, right? We want to improve force transfer through rotational movements, so like things like, Russian twists, or even band rotations, wood choppers, very good for athletic and functional stuff. But also we want to have that core stability. Like, when we're lifting something with one arm that's really heavy, we still want that core stability. We want to keep our body up. We want to have the stability that will help with injury prevention by building up our core strength, but not just through planks. It's anti-rotation and rotation. Like, that's huge, because that's going to prevent injury. That's going to enhance your rotational power, So if you're throwing the ball with your grandchild, that's rotation. If you're golfing, that's rotation, right? If you're punching somebody out, that's rotation. It's going to bulletproof your core when you build up rotation, anti-rotation. So adding those type of movements into your finisher, anti-rotation, rotation, finisher, perfect. So that's it. Those are the 10. Let's start off again. Let's start off from the very beginning quickly. The 10 commandments of exercises for men over 40. Number one is going to be, well, now this is in no order. So the 10 commandments of exercises for men over 40. Goblet squat and their variations. Again, hits your glutes, your quads, your adductors, your core, strength, etc. Number two, incline dumbbell chest press. Listen, if you want mass, upper chest mass, if you want chest, you want to build that mass, you want your big, huge chest, then you're doing dumbbell chest press, but incline. Number three is going to be burpees, the ultimate total body tool. Cardio, explosiveness, mobility, coordination, stamina, fat loss. Number four is going to be single leg deadlift, right? Hip hinge, glute, hamstring, right? Balance, core. That's a fundamental movement pattern that we need. Number five, kettlebell swings. Learn how to use and do the kettlebell swing, the technique. You want hip power, you want core, you want cardio, you want explosiveness, you want fat loss, you want the pure testosterone fuel, then it's kettlebell swings. Number six, dips, parallel bar dips for the mass triceps, those horseshoes, horseshoe triceps, but you still hit the chest and the shoulders. Number seven, seated incline dumbbell curls, right? We want to emphasize the stretch under the load of the dumbbells, so we can really build up the biceps, get that full range of motion. Number eight, we're doing barbell rows. And if we can get those Yates row in there from Dorian Yates, thank you very much, Dorian. Love you, buddy. Barbell rows are the key, right? Back density, posterior chain, grip strength. Number nine, lunges. I'm talking front lunges, reverse lunges, side lunges, step ups, all lunge variations for glutes, quads, adductors, core balance, coordination. Number 10, pull-ups, baby. Let's master this upper body mastery lift with pull-ups. And I'm going to throw in the 11th is anti-rotation and rotational core strength. And for me, that's it. These are the exercises that aren't just about looking, good. It's about everything else other than that as well. They will make you look good, but they're about staying strong. They're about staying pain-free. They're about being explosive. They're about mobility for life. They're about muscle, building muscle, fighting sarcopenia. Every one of these movements serves us better in our 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, whether it's for hormone, whether it's for posterior correction, or just building a better posture, whether it's joint and joint longevity for athletic performance, right? We're all athletes in our own ways. This is it. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys start incorporating some of those movements. If you don't have a program, over40alpha.com, I'll make sure those movements are in your program. All my guys are doing these movements and variations of these movements, these exercises. These are the top 10 exercises for men in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. I'm Funk Roberts. And if you did learn anything, or you are incorporating, or you think I missed one, please leave a comment, leave a review, whatever you feel that this episode deserves. And I will come back with more our 10 commandment episodes in the future. Thank you for being here. It is my birthday. So, hey, at least leave a comment and wish me a happy birthday, please. 56 and strong. I'm the Funkster, and I'll see you on the other side. One last thing. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for listening, and thank you for being here with me through this journey. I'm the Funkster, and I'll see you on the other side. Get it done.